الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله علي ولي الله.
One thing I understand is that many of the youths out there who email me this question about how we can prove that God exists, I know many of you are facing fundamental issues with this very question. But don't worry, it's a question that's always been posed in every generation, in every empire. Don't think that this atheist movement that you see surrounding us now is something new. On the contrary, it is something that has always existed. And indeed, many of the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had grappled with this particular group of people who continuously would deny the existence of God. And even if you have a friend of yours who denies the existence of God, that doesn't mean you cut relations with them. On the contrary, Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, there were many in his time, such as the likes of Abu Shakir al-Daysani, who would come and debate Imam al-Sadiq in relation to God's existence. And Imam al-Sadiq would always be willing to entertain their questions. I'll never forget when someone asked Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, if God truly exists, can he fit the whole universe into an egg without the egg getting bigger or the universe getting smaller? Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam looked at the person and he said to him, this is very simple. Now when we hear the question again, some of us, our answer would be, of course, God could do anything. If someone asked us, can he fit the whole universe into an egg without the egg getting bigger or the universe getting smaller, we'd just say, yes, God can do anything. But that's not enough. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam looked at him. He said, how many senses do you have? He said, 5. He said, name them. He said, I can see and I can touch and I can taste and I can smell and I can hear. He said to him, what's the smallest of the senses that you have? He said, my eyesight. He said, what do you see with your eyesight? He said, I see forests, I see trees, I see buildings. He said to him, the Lord who could fit all of these into your eye, you think he can't fit the universe into an egg? It's a wonderful line of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam. Those of you who've walked in Manhattan and seen those skyscrapers, have you ever thought, how is it that a building so high can be fit into this eye? But the beauty of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam wasn't that he turned the person away, or he said to him, you are atheist, I can't talk with you. On the contrary, all of us are trying to understand Tawheed. Tawheed, I can't just imitate my parents in understanding it. I'm trying to understand monotheism through rational discourse. A Muslim out there who only believes in God because of their parents has not understood what Islam wanted from them. On another occasion, a person came to Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam and said to him, show me God. So the Imam said to him, look at the sun. As soon as he looked at the sun, he turned his eyes away. The Imam looked at him and said, what's wrong with you? He said, the rays of light of the sun are burning my eyes. I had to move, they were blinding my eyes. Imam al-Sadiq said, if you cannot bear to see the created, how do you expect to see the creator? In other words, here, one of the arguments which Imam al-Sadiq seeks to posit about the proof of God's existence is for every effect there must be a cause. And there has to be a first cause who brought everything into existence. Something cannot come out of nothing. And I think all of us as human beings accept this and accept the probability of this world coming in the order which it has come in is zeros reaching the billions. Yes, it's absurd for a person to think that this all came by accident. On the one hand, you prove God's existence by saying for every design, there must be a designer. For every painting, there must be a painter. For every car, there must have been a manufacturer. Likewise, for the creations of Allah on earth, there has to be a creator. So the first argument some use is design. Another argument is that we are all possible beings. We had no control into coming into this world. There has to be a necessary existence who began all of this. And you find many a great philosopher who has looked at this particular theory in proving God's existence. That without that necessary existent, none of us would be able to come into this world. Therefore, you find that that was a second argument that many used. One was from the world of design, and indeed another one was from the world of cause and effect, and the need for a necessary existent who brings about all existence. These arguments, therefore, are amongst the arguments that can be used by our youth who are asking these questions in terms of God's existence. But there is one fundamental argument which I use personally. I, as a Muslim and a follower of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam, believed in God because of looking at the behavior of the Imams of Al Muhammad alayhim salam. If Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam tells me there's a God, I really don't need any philosophical or scientific proofs. When a man like Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam lives the way he lives, is humble in the humility that he has, is honorable in the way he is with others, when he tells me there is a God, I cannot lose by believing in a God. I can certainly inquire philosophically and I can inquire scientifically, but when Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam is humble even towards his killer Ibn Muljam, when that Ali worships a God, I want the God of Ali. Because I cannot lose worshipping the God of Ali, whatever his name is, because if it allows me to be half of a character like Ali, then I've been successful in this world. Therefore, there are many different angles in which we are able to understand God. Either his existence through the design argument, or his existence through the philosophical arguments of the necessary existent, or indeed through the simple fact that those people who he had chosen to guide us, the way they impeccably live their lives, if they tell you there's a God, there's no harm and there's no losing when you follow their Lord.